Getting diagnosed with ADHD and autism as an adult can be life-changing. Therapist Sarah Lupardis, who specializes in ADHD and autism, says it's not about fixing people. It's about finding what works.
Let's do it with purpose and intention and say, I'm going to put the laundry in the dryer, and then I'm going to purposely sit down for the 45 minutes that the dryer's on and scroll TikTok, and then when the dryer buzzer goes off, I'm going to go get my laundry.
Watch our social media series on getting diagnosed with ADHD and autism as an adult on our Instagram and YouTube channels.
It's The Connector, Idaho Daily News from Boise State Public Radio. Good morning. I'm Troy Oppie. Today, Ammon Bundy is on the clock again in bankruptcy proceedings. Immunization rates being reported for Idaho kindergartners continue to fall. Did the Idaho man nominated for undersecretary for natural resources in the USDA build a cabin without permission in the Sawtooth National Forest? Plus, it's NCAA championship time for Boise State track and field athletes and NNU baseball. Those stories and more this morning on The Connector. Former Idaho gubernatorial candidate and anti-government activist Ammon Bundy is once again on the clock in his bankruptcy proceedings. James Dawson has this update.
Lawyers for St. Luke's Health System recently filed a new motion to prevent Bundy from discharging a $52 million defamation judgment levied against him by a jury in 2023. Bundy filed for bankruptcy last summer in Utah to wipe the judgment from his record. Attorneys for St. Luke's are asking the judge to not discharge the judgment debt because they say he acted maliciously and flouted the original court proceedings by refusing to show up. The Utah bankruptcy court judge initially ruled in favor of St. Luke's in January, but reversed that decision after Bundy said he wasn't properly served with legal paperwork. Bundy must respond to the latest motion by June 16th and attend a hearing on the issue July 15th to maintain his objection. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
Michael Boren, the Idaho man who co-founded Clearwater Analytics and has recently been named Undersecretary for Natural Resources in the U.S. Department of Agriculture, is reportedly in a dispute with the U.S. Forest Service over land cleared to build a cabin within the boundary of the Sawtooth National Forest. Politico reports one of Boren's companies, Galena Mines, was ordered by the Forest Service last November to remove a cabin constructed without authorization by July 1st. Neither Boren nor his representatives returned requests for comment to Politico, which reported that Galena Mines filed in February to remove Michael Boren as owner and replace him at the company with his sister Amanda. His confirmation as USDA Undersecretary comes before Senate committee next week. Politico reports Democrats on the committee are expected to question him on the cabin and about other land use disputes he's had with the Forest Service. Fewer parents in Idaho are reporting to local schools that their kids are immunized against contagious but preventable diseases. Idaho Ed News reports Idaho's immunization reporting rate of incoming kindergartners dropped below 75% this year. That's not necessarily the immunization rate, but it does represent the number of kindergartners who are reported to have received shots against diseases like polio, measles, and whooping cough. Parents don't need a specific reason to opt their kids out of vaccines for school, just a signed form. Ed News reports exemptions have increased since stricter requirements were loosened in 2018. That's according to the State Department of Health and Welfare. The ease of opting out, less of a chore for parents than listing the received vaccines, could also be contributing to the low number. Data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show Idaho has the lowest reported kindergarten vaccination rate in the nation. Only Montana doesn't report data. Idaho's exemption rate has nearly doubled the last 5 years. It's more than 4 times the national average. Valley County commissioners are using authority from a 2024 state law to significantly shrink the area of impact around the city of McCall. Impact areas are near or adjacent to current city limits. They're likely lands for future annexation. The McCall Star-News reports Valley County commissioners this week discussed new maps needed to abide by the new law, with a maximum impact area of 2 miles beyond the current city limits and a limit to impact areas of only property likely to be annexed in the next 5 years. There's a public hearing on that matter planned for July 7th. At the Hanford nuclear sites, engineers are testing a complex matrix of air scrubbers on a stack as part of a massive effort to clean up the 56 million gallons of radioactive waste stored in southwest Washington. From Northwest Public Broadcasting, senior correspondent Anna King has more.
This more than 200-foot stack is attached to a part of the hulking waste treatment plant. Now, Hanford officials and contractors are watching reams of numbers coming out of computerized scrubbers in the stack. The ultimate goal? See if the chemical load being emitted matches their expectations and are under state limits. Brian Hartman is the project director for Bechtel, the main federal contractor responsible for the plant.
We'll take our feed systems, we will operate the plant, and then we'll actually go in and add what we call spiking chemicals to see, hey, does our instrumentation measure what we spiked into the melter itself?
So far, no radioactive material is being treated in the plant. If things go to plan, later this year, they could start to treat real radioactive waste. I'm Anna King.
A U.S. Supreme Court decision yesterday removed a major hurdle for the proposed Uinta Basin Railway in Utah. The ruling reverses a lower court decision and restores prior federal approval for the controversial project. The Federal Surface Transportation Board had approved the railway's construction in 2021, but Eagle County in Colorado and the nonprofit Center for Biological Diversity sued, arguing that the board did not do enough to analyze potential impacts on communities and the Colorado River. Wendy Park is with the Center for Biological Diversity.
This is a big blow to communities everywhere and to anyone who loves our public lands, wants clean air and water.
Park says she's worried about the increased risk of oil spills and wildfires from more train traffic. The railway has the potential to increase oil production in the region by fourfold, linking it to national rail lines. The Uinta Basin Railway would face additional permitting and reviews before construction can begin. In sports, 7 Boise State track and field athletes are still competing at the NCAA National Championships. 6 are at this week's first round event in Texas. Kai Robinson is 7th overall so far in the women's 1,500 meters. Tom Graham-Marr is 5th overall in the men's 1,500. Both those events have quarterfinal races still to come. The top 12 advance to the finals next month. Bronco decathlete Landon Helms has already qualified for the national finals. Northwest Nazarene University baseball is at the NCAA Division II World Series for the second time in school history. The 18 double elimination tournament begins today in Cary, North Carolina. NNU is the 5th seed. They'll take on 4th-seeded University of Texas Tyler. First pitch tomorrow at 2:30 Mountain Time. And that's the Connector for this Friday, May 30th. Hope you have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend. James Dawson will be with you on Monday. George Prentice is back on Tuesday. Our general manager is Tom Michael. Our news director is Sasha Woodruff. Our digital strategy manager is Lacey Daly. And to round out the name dropping, I'm Troy Opp. Thanks for listening.